Hello, everyone from Chelsea Fan TV. Welcome back to another episode of the Chelsea Fan TV preview show, the CFTV preview show with myself and Kevin as well. Guys, it's been a little while since we've done this show. So we've had the international break. England have been playing as well as the other countries, and we didn't actually do this show for Leicester. To be honest, we just took it easy on the channel. You know when you feel like you just know you're going to win a game, and you're like, I don't even think I need to do a preview for it. That's how I felt about Leicester.
I couldn't even really tell you any players that they've got really apart from Dewsbury Hall and
Vardy, mate.
Vardy, yeah. A couple of players really.
Brighton.
I hear you when I wasn't under the impression that it was going to be an easy game, but I knew we'd probably get the victory. So when we did, so fair play to us. 4-2, brilliant game. Entertaining. 2-0 up, 2-2, and last 5 minutes. Two class goals, especially Madueke's goal. Brilliant solo effort. So fair play to him, but still not good. Still the same mistakes. Still poor mistake from the Sarsi. Let a goal in for them, and the same old stuff that we talk about every single week. But yeah, we're going to Wembley, so
That's it, man. That's
positive.
all that matters. We're going to Wembley. We've got another semi-final, and then there's a few things I want to talk about. To be honest with you, Kev. But listen, man, we'll get into it. Before we do start, I do just want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, Match Bingo, guys. If you haven't heard of Match Bingo, really simple. It's bingo with a twist. So instead of playing with normal numbers like you would in bingo, I'm sure you've all played. You would use things from a game. So it could be goals, assists, offsides, fouls, yellow cards, anything. Whatever you have in your bingo card, you scratch it off if that thing happens in the game. And the more lines you have, the more money you can win. I haven't heard from anyone from the last game, but the most someone has won on Match Bingo from the channel is £120, and that's off a £2 bet. So you can do pretty well for yourself, guys. And I personally quite enjoy it. I think it's a good game to play. You can download it on your phone. Yeah, you've got to be over 18, guys. Click the link in the description. Do it right now. Just pause the video and download it. And let me know how you get on for the Burnley game, because Match Bingo go every week. But we're running out of time, people. It's almost at the end of the season. So get in there while you still can. But yeah, Kev, there's so many things to talk about. And there's things that I want to talk about as well. But it's just a weird situation at Chelsea at the moment. Like, we haven't even had a chance to catch up about it ourselves. Um, Everything seems to be around the owners. That the shift has sort of changed from Pochettino and the players to the ownership, and it's quite a sudden shift. I mean, we've always spoken about the owners. There's no secret about that. But everything that I see in the news at the moment about Chelsea is about Bowley. It's about Egbali. The chairmanship, the fact that Bowley's going to have it for 5 years and then it's going to switch over. Apparently, that was
Yeah,
big news. It's not. We know what's going to happen. Egbali's going to take over after that, and then they'll switch back again, because if you're chairman, you can withdraw 20 million a year
mate.
out of the club. So they've actually found a loophole to withdraw money out of the club, irrespective of the contract they signed with Abramovich.
Mate, are you surprised? I'm not surprised at all that things pointing towards the owners, and finally it's happening because it's probably a year too long. This should have been happening this time last year when we got rid of Potter. We had no manager to replace him, and the players resigning, everything else going on with the club. The question should have been asked a long time ago, but it's took fans up until 2 years into it to realise where the problems lie, and it's not the manager, it's not the players. It's the owners that have brought the players in. It's the owners that have brought the manager in. So it comes from the top. It's the owners that have brought all these medical people in, and we have injuries every single week. The same injuries every single week, Alex. So yeah, it's about time. But if they think they can keep finding loopholes to take money at the club and this and another, we ain't gonna accept it. So Bowley, yeah, he can have his 2 years, and if he thinks he's going to come back and walk straight back in, if the mess isn't cleared up within the next few months, he's got another thing coming, mate. I don't know what he thinks he's getting himself into, but it's not going to be as easy as him leaving in 2025 and then coming back. No, this is not a small club, mate. You got to understand that people are going to want your neck, mate. And the thing is, it's getting to the point now where he's not going to be safe walking out the stadium with 10 security guards.
He
No,
he will, Kev. He will.
nah,
Honestly,
mate, it's
it's
people have
not.
already there's planned riots, mate. There's already people talking about doing it already, mate. There's
Yeah, the
planned.
people will write against the owners, but they won't attack the owners. I
They
don't
don't
believe
want to
that. And
attack him,
also,
but
I do
mate,
want to say this.
you got to imagine, mate, how it would be when you got
I'm
potentially
there, Kev. Phil. I've seen it.
700 people waiting outside the game for you, mate. You can imagine how scary that would be for anybody,
People
brother.
don't wait that long, Kev. Like when we film our fan cams, we film for I'm going to say an hour and a half, right after kickoff. And Bowley usually comes out towards one of the last fan camps, so about an hour and a half. People don't hang around for that long, not outside the stadium. They'll be in the pub by that point, and maybe there'll be 20 people. But I'll be honest with you, man. Like Bowley interacts with fans. Like I know he said no comment to me the other day. He's obviously been PR trained. That's fair enough. Like I think it's a bit strange that you can't say what you thought about a game, because that's what I asked him after the Newcastle game. What did you think? And he said no comment. I was like, well, that's a bit strange. I haven't asked you a difficult question there, Todd. But I get it. Right? Everything that he says, he gets slated for it, and that's fine. And I've spoken to the guy. You know, I've probably spent when I was in Salzburg in Austria, I spent 10 minutes talking to him and Egg Barley. And generally, like Todd he's a fucking nice guy. Like I don't care what people say. He is a nice bloke. Egg Barley, I'll be real, man. That guy's not a people person. He is not a people person. And even when we see with the fans, like he's not the guy who interacts with fans. He there was games where I saw him running away to get into his car. And that is so different to Todd. They're polar opposites in that respect. And that's why we should be shifting the topic of conversation to Clear Lake, because they're the ones with control. Bowley only has a 13% stake, Kev, you know, and people have clocked it already. This isn't brand new information. You know, this is something we've known forever. But you know, now that the results are still not picking up in the league, you know, people are talking about riots, this and that. I'm not there.
I'm just sick of them, bro. I'm sick of the sight of them now, bro. The owners.
Yeah, but you don't like the project because we're losing, and I don't like it.
No. It's not even the fact that we're losing, brother. It's just this.
Is it the
Everything's
way that we're going about our business?
everything's getting Americanized. I just don't like the Americans when they come
True.
and do business, bro. They just take over to do things their way. They haven't taken anything into consideration with the fans. We're hearing about ticket prices going up again. We've heard about the coaches that went from the ground. They've been cancelled. They don't give a crap. They're just all about lining their pockets, mate. And that's what it's been from day one. They have never taken the fans into consideration from day one. All they're bothered about is what players they can get in, what players they can develop, and what players they can shift on. And that's the model, bro. Simple as that. Or you don't come. And then the thing is now, like, it's too late now. We've already spent the money, brother. So unless we can get rid of players for FFP, this is how it's going to be, unfortunately. So
I mean, I don't think
people can write all they want, people can protest all they want. It's too late. She's going to have to ride the storm, brother. Unfortunately, man.
yeah. We've got to raise 100 million, haven't we? And I don't think that's going to be difficult. And to be honest with you, like we can have a big debate about FFP and that situation. I don't think it's actually as bad as people are saying in terms of what it would do to the squad, right? I think it can do a lot of good things for us. So the first one is Maatsen, right? I think he's going to go. There's 20-30 million right there. Lukaku, he'll probably leave. Yeah. Let's just save 20 million. Like that's probably a good deal for him. So let's just say, right, we've got, I don't know, 40 or 50 million that we've sold. Chalobah, 10-15 million. We're on about 65. Broha, another 20 million, 75, 85. And then you got Gallagher, right, who we want 50, 60, 70 million for. We're not going to get 70 for him, but I mean, those players there, Kev, Like we're going to get 100 million. That won't be a problem. And for me personally, I want to see Sterling go, get his wages off the book, and people take the piss out of the structure, the wage structure that we have. But actually, I don't have a problem with it because I would rather have, well, with Sterling, I would rather have 2 young players that we could develop that I see something from, like a Mudryk, like a Madueke, rather than Sterling. You know what? I don't want to see that crap, man. You know, you're paying for ready-made talent, ready-made players. You're not getting anything from them. You're seeing that from Cole Palmer. So if we take a few risks in the transfer market, I mean, we've already done it. As far as I'm concerned, Kev, you know, we need to sign experience. We need to do that, but we need to also get rid of the deadwood we have. And that doesn't mean just players that don't want to be here. That means players that aren't good enough. Because last year it was about players who didn't want to be at Chelsea in the first place, and the list goes on with them. But yeah, I think for me, I'm gonna judge this when I see what they do in the summer. And if we don't see anything ambitious or smart, or you know, when we can really see that there's a progression coming, then it's going to be difficult for me to, you know, give these owners a pat on the back and say, you know what, I support what they're doing. But you know, this whole money thing as well, Kev. Everything's about money, you know, these days, and it's unfortunate, man. And we had the greatest owner in world football, but I'll be honest with you, like anyone who took us over was gonna be more financially driven than Abramovich. Anyone. We just happen to have Americans that are very utilized in that area. I mean, that's what they do. They buy assets. This is what they do. They buy assets,
make profit,
build them up in value,
and make them
and
sell
then
them
they
on.
sell them.
The thing is, though, yeah, they've brought the wrong club, and we've talked about this for a very long time now, and it's all up until this point where we're seeing all the get the Clown Lake stickers and everything else. Now it's topic of conversation. When I've been saying this for the last year and a half about these owners and the mistakes they made and everything else. So for me personally, it's good it's happening now. At least we're not waiting until the end of another transfer window to start it. At least they're seeing the stuff that's going on, and at least they know now they need to try and change it, as it's just going to get really bad. And I don't want to be seeing it. You go to football for a positive. Football should be about positivity. This is what a lot of us, you know, from our day-to-day routines. We go to work. That's all we do. We go to work, come home, go to sleep. So when we go to football, we want a positivity, and then you go there to enjoy yourself. You go there for the banter and stuff like that. We don't want to be going there and seeing you rioting and this and that, man. Come on, man. You don't want to be seeing it. But on the flip side, I could understand why everybody wants to do it. And hopefully things get better now. And I think the next transfer window, like I said previously, hopefully things start getting better so we can start going to football matches and enjoying our experience.
I hope so, man. I mean, I still enjoy it, to be honest with you. Even when we lose, I do enjoy it. For me, it's just about going and supporting my team. So when you say it's about being positive, I get where you're coming from, because you want to get away from work and all the other things in life.
It's everyone's escape. It's everyone's escape. Like it's not like a holiday to Dubai, let's say, but it's that little day out, isn't it? Like me and my dad. Like I don't see much of my dad, so we link up and you know it's just a good vibes, and then we go to the match, and then on the way back we have our little time, and that's it. It's that little once a month, twice a month we go. It's that you don't want to be going there and seeing riots and this and another, but it's understandable because end of the day you can't see our club fall into a mid-table. We are a mid-table club. The league table doesn't lie, you know, and I can't see things changing unless we make a stance, and this is what's happening now.
Yeah, man. I mean, I look if there is riots, or I don't think riots is the right word. Protests. That's the one that's going around. If there's protests, like I'm not sitting here saying go and protest. But I mean, look, I support fans that believe that's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And I understand why they do it. And I'll probably end up going there as well. You know, I wouldn't be the leader of a protest, not at the moment at least, but I would definitely go there, because I think if we could show some unity, that would be a nice thing. But I mean, it's just, mate, it's such a big split at the moment. I can't, I've been trying to actually stop thinking about it while England have been playing, and the channel has been quite inactive actually over the
Yeah.
international break because I don't really want to think about Chelsea
It's
all the
just the
time.
same. It's just the same crap, though, Alex. Like
Very negative, man.
we could just.
But Kev, I get criticised for this heavily. I get so
Mm.
I'm not going to say any of the names of these creators, but they call me out and they say that I'm a bloody brown envelope. Come on, man. Um, I just believe in being patient. That's just the way I am in everything. And I think that football is like that. But there is a limit to everyone's patience, right? And I have a limit, but I'm just not there yet. And just because I don't condemn everything from what I'm seeing doesn't mean that I like everything I'm seeing, right? I can easily criticize things in the short term and say, the owners did a crap job, mate. They were horrific.
Yeah,
But also,
but when you see the calamities and the stuff what's going on, Alex, at the club, right?
no,
I
I agree with
mean,
you, Kev.
I
I agree
mean,
with you.
Alex, we are okay. Just finishing off on the topic now. The club has been run like an amateur outfit. Out. Like, look at look at all the players who got back out again. Should come back as a. Why would you send Ben Chilwell to international break knowing that he's not fully fit? Now he's come back and he's out for the game. But what is going on, like Alex, at the club? And questions need to be asked. And if you're patient, Alex, okay, I'm not trying to draw you out here, but there's a line with patience, Alex. Like this
No,
is
there is a
two
line, Kev.
years. There's patience. My patience was over after 6 months, and I've been talking about the same shit for a year and a half. Like I'm
Yeah,
actually proud. I'm actually happy that we're going and the fans are making a stance because it needs to happen because they need to basically this club needs resetting from top to the bottom. They need to get the right people in, right medical staff, the right people, board of directors. Everything needs changing, and we need professional people that have been there, done it in these positions, and not amateurs, because that's what is happening right now. Why do you think all these things happen? Why are we signing the wrong players? Why are players getting injured? All questions need asked because it's the people at the top that they can come in into a football team, bring people in that they don't know into a Chelsea football club. This is not a trial and error club. This is Chelsea. So you should have what they should have done is come in, kept things the same, and then slowly done the
yeah.
process, not just come in
No,
and ship everything out and then bring in amateurs, bro. This is why we are now 11th in the league. Simple as that.
yeah. Well, we know that this is not a model you would do again with a top team. We know that. I mean that's obvious. But we've done it now, right? And there's no going back. People who say reset, scrap the whole process. I just don't get that. I think you've got to try it because if there is really a
Alex,
process,
just try for nearly 2 years, bro. Look,
yeah, but a process can last so much longer than that, Kev. A
nah,
process can
bro.
be 4 or 5 years. Look at
Wait,
Arsenal. Look at Liverpool.
so the question is to you, would you want to carry on this process now into another season? This same process, what they've done for the last 2 years, do you think this is sustainable for us to become a top four team now, the way things are being run right now?
I'm not saying that the way we're playing at the moment and the way we're
No,
running the
no,
club
no.
is
That's
sustainable.
everything. So there you go. Then that's what it needs resetting. That's what I'm trying to say.
Well,
People
resetting in what sense, Kev? You got to be a bit more specific
they need
because
to
I'm
get
just saying that you
they
can't
need
change the model straight away.
so the people that they've taken into the club. So meaning all these uh people from Brighton, okay, all the sporting directors and everything else, all the medical staff they took from other clubs, including Brighton as well. They need to be moved on, and we need to get top people in their
Yeah,
place.
in terms of medical staff, you're probably right actually in that sense because you don't need
Not
to be
probably,
somewhere for a
definitely.
long time to know when a player's body is ready. I mean, that's just science. So I completely agree with that. The sporting directors, I also agree with. But having said that, if we don't give the players the time to develop, we don't know if the sporting directors got the decisions right in the first place. So if Mudryk starts balling out next season, and Madueke and Lavia and Chukwu, all these players that have been signed under the new sporting directors, then actually they would deserve credit for that. But we won't see that credit for a couple of years, and that's why I'm
Yeah,
slightly
yeah.
reserved,
I'm not
right?
denying the fact that the players that we have brought in are quality potential players. A couple of them that are a bit better. at the same age group, but a bit more to that side. But what I'm trying to get to is you can't just buy a whole load of them. We bought 20 of the same caliber potential players. That's never been. I've never seen anything happen like that in my whole time I've been watching football since I was
No,
six,
no, it's
7 years
criminal,
old.
mate.
I
It's
have
criminal.
never seen so many under 21 players brought in my
But
whole
that
life.
is not the sporting directors. That is the ownership. That is their model.
They, they,
That is
they,
their
they're telling what they're doing. The board, the people at the top are telling these board of directors what players they want. So obviously it's coming from the people upstairs. But for them ones, it's difficult. If the board people at the top are telling the board of directors what players they want, can we really come at the board of directors when it's the owners? So it's a hard one to.
Well, the owners are the ones that hired them, but they hired them from Brighton. So, like, I agree with you completely, man. And like again, I don't love this ownership, but I'm not gonna say fucking Clown Lake out until I really believe it. And for me, I've got if I believe in something, I'm gonna say it. I don't think Potts should be sacked. I stand by that, and I can look at that, and I can give examples. I can give I could look at his CV. I can look at what he's done with previous clubs. I can look at the fact that he's with Chelsea, who are a process team at the moment. People don't want to admit it. We are a process team. We've changed from a winning now side, a side that's going to win trophies straight away, to a team that needs time to develop. And by the way, we still got to a Carabao Cup final. We still got an FA Cup to play for. There is a chance for silverware, although I think it's slim, if I'm totally honest with you. And I think I think that any manager that comes in has got a bloody difficult job, mate. So, I need everyone to ease into what they're doing, and then I can really understand who's where, because if you bring in 10 players next season, it's like the whole thing's starting again. There's no gel, nobody's together.
We don't need that. We just need probably 4 players.
No, but that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying, Kev. And
yeah,
if we signed 4 top players, a
yeah.
nice striker, personally, I'd like to see another left back,
Almost
uh,
4. Centre.
another centre back, even to be fair, and maybe even another midfielder as well or winger. That would be fantastic if we could sign players of that caliber. The Gorkarez's, real top players that are ready to slip straight into our side, and that's not too difficult at the moment. And if we did that, mate, I would support the project. I would. Listen, I'm not saying that we have the best owners in world football. I'm not saying that, but also I'm a realist. I want to be realistic, and everyone's saying sell the club, do this, do that. They're not selling. They're not going to sell, not for another 8 years. And honestly, I want to try and enjoy my time following Chelsea. There's no delusion in that. It's just realism that this is what we have. Right. Are we getting the best out of it? And if I think that we are, and if I think we're progressing each year, then I can say, well, year one, we didn't get through to any domestic cup quarterfinals even, right? We got knocked out the Champions League. We finished mid-table. The year after, we got to a cup final, a cup semi-final, finished higher in the league than that year, played better football as well. And if we did even better the year after, I'm seeing a progression. Like that's how I see it. And yes, you could say that I'm too patient, but I'm seeing progression. If I saw a stagnant side, I wouldn't back it. I wouldn't. I would be saying that things have to change straight away. But they are getting better. People don't want to admit it, but they are getting better. And things have to get worse before they get better as well, Kev. That is part of changing the model of a football club. I hate it when people are like, I have to win now, I have to win now. Where are we winning now? Who are we winning now with? Poch is not a now guy. The players aren't ready to win now. The owners have never done that themselves. You look at Bowley with the Dodgers. I think he bought the Dodgers in 2012. Okay. And he's got a 20% stake in the team, so more than he has at Chelsea. And since that period, I think they've made 4 or 5 World Series finals and they've won one. And people go, the Dodgers haven't actually been a successful baseball team. But mate, there's 30 teams in Major League Baseball. There's only 20 in the Premier League. 5 World Series finals. It's impressive. And I'm not saying that, I think they lost 4 of those finals and won 1 or 2. But it's still impressive, and he still showed clear progression year on year. I mean, this year, for example, Gav, I mean, I'm a baseball fan. I like baseball as well. The Dodgers are the best team in the league. They are. They're one of the best teams. So they're building something successful, and they're signing big fucking names. And that's after 12 years of Bowley owning that team. I'm not saying we have to wait another 10. I'm not saying that. But I'm just giving an example that, this guy's doing it in another sport. He's been pretty successful with it. I would obviously like better things for Chelsea, but I mean, I'm just saying it how I see it. And, just because I'm not going out and saying, fuck you and, get out of my club and this and that, and I'm not reactionary, people think that I don't care and that I'm a plastic. It's just bullshit, Kev. It's bullshit. I go to more games than everyone else. I spend more time talking on camera about Chelsea than anyone else after the games. We spend probably 2 hours after each game's interviewing fans. I'm perfectly aware of what people think. I've spoken to the owners. I'm aware of sort of where they're at as well. You can see the interactions. You can see what people are like. And obviously, it's not good right now. But if we were competing for Premier Leagues in 3 years, Kev, you and me will be very, very happy.
That's
And
and
that's
that's
the
the
fact.
and that's the realistic aim. I don't think it will be. I think there's still a long way to go. Well, not a long way to go, but we're coming into the final stretch of the year now. There's 9 games left, 10 games left. So who knows where we could finish if we could push for a top 8 this year, which I said at the start of the year, that's a realistic aim. Um, it's like you said, it's improvement from last year. 12th place last year, 8th place this year. Maybe next year we could aim for top 6. So there's clear signs of progression. But
Kev, I mean, do you think I'm asking? Do you think that I have low standards for the club?
no, yeah, you're just thinking logical. And I am on the same wavelength as you, Alex. Like I said, I think after the final, my head changed as well because I thought there's too much negativity going around the club. As much as it is negative, yeah, that we are 11th and some of the games this season has been crap and some of the players saying crap and the injuries, a lot of negativity going around it. But all in all, it can be changed. But things are going to start happening now, because, like I said a few weeks ago, if everything's the same as now, so the same people, medical people are there, the same players that we're trying to buy, potential players and all that. If they're all there, all them are still in the same in the club. What's going to happen is this time next year we're going to be in the same position. It's just going to be the repeat. But one thing I can say is, summertime, can they change the model? Can they get better people into the club? And hopefully, like I said, we could progress again because I still think a top 8 position is a realistic aim. We've got 3 winnable games in a row, that includes United. I think we can beat them. So we've got Burnley, which I believe we get the points from, Man United, which I can't see it being less than a draw, and then we've got Sheffield United away. So come on, lads, like that's the potentially 7 points. Other teams are going to be dropping points, so maybe after 3 games we could be 8th, 7th, 8th. You just never know. So let's just try and be positive as we can.
That's it. I'm not saying be delusional, but we've got to go into it with some faith, right? And we've got to try and believe. And then if we're proven wrong, like I'll sit here and say I was wrong, but I'm not going to go out and make a statement that I don't believe in. I just don't believe it right now. I believe that they've done a shit job for the present. Yes, I believe that. Do I believe it's going to be shit in 5 years? I don't know, and I don't know what it's going to be like next season. So I need to see a little bit more to make a decision.
We
That's
just
that's
we
it.
just, we just don't want to wait though, don't we? For 5, I
Who
can't
the hell
bother.
wants to wait?
I
Who
don't want
wants
to.
to
And it's just
I get
like just in the week again. Let's go a bit more into the games and that
Yeah,
now
we'll
and
go into
injuries.
Burnley,
Yeah,
mate.
yeah,
We'll go
yeah,
into Burnley.
yeah. But just seeing that with Lavia being out for the season, he's played 30 minutes and he's played £1.8 million a minute since he's joined.
I know, it's ridiculous.
It's just heartbreaking to see that. It's like, what is going on, man? Like, I've never seen, not even Chelsea. I have never seen a club been run like Chelsea in my whole life. This is the
No,
worst
nobody has,
club.
Kev. You know, we're
It's
unique.
bad.
We're like a
But
science experiment, mate.
there's people like me and yourself that still see the silver line. I'm still trying to say, you know what, we can do it because I've been to games this season and I've seen that they can do it. So what they need to do is just focus on the game. Okay, everything, everything else with the club sucks. We all know that. Like everything else is fucked. In a, I can't say it in a more friendly manner than that. But if they
Yeah,
just focus on their game, if they beat City, I believe we can win the FA Cup. We've got to. If they go on a little winning run, we can finish in the top 8 in the European spots. So this is what we should be saying as fans on a big platform like Chelsea fans. That's what we should be saying. We should be saying, you know what, we can do it, regardless of all the other shit that's going on. We need to start getting behind the players because it's the final run now. Can we push for the European places, which we all need? I think the players need it, the club need it, and us fans need it more than anything else. I think we've all missed out. I haven't been to. I've been to a few Champions League games at home, but I've never been in a European experience. Next year, who knows? Maybe we could be in Ukraine somewhere. I don't know why they here in the Europa Super, whatever. I
yeah.
just want to,
You don't know what's
you
going to
know,
happen.
yeah, yeah. So we need to just get behind the players because they need the backing from us now because the quality is there. Like I said, I've seen this team take Liverpool to the late stages of a cup, regardless of them having injuries. We played well. We played well against Villa. I think we've had good City. We've had City away. That was another good. They've had good performances, so they can do it. But I think there's a lot of other stuff, a lot of other factors that are stopping them from really pushing on and doing the best.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, listen, we'll just touch on Burnley as well, mate. I mean,
Yeah.
this is actually supposed to be a preview, so we'll take a little bit
Yeah.
longer
Okay.
just to get through that. I mean, Poch, he had quite a good thing to say about Burnley. He said that they're a team that play with freedom, they run a lot, and they're very physical, and they've got a lot of good young players. And it's always going to be tough for us. We need to be, you know, in a better position in the Premier League. We've got to win and perform well, and you're never going to have any easy games. And he said Burnley are a good team, they're exciting, and it's going to be difficult. You know, it seems like he's giving them a lot of credit, which you see with a lot of managers. To be fair, they always talk about how good their opponents are. So it's like a mind
Unless
thing.
it's Arsene Wenger and Jose Mourinho.
That is true. That is very true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, what do you think about Burnley? I mean, do you think this is going to be a walk in the park, or do you think it's going to be a more challenging game?
Burnley has never been a walk in the park for us. I think the last game they took the lead. Um, they took the lead against us and they made it hard for us. And then second half, it kind of, we won that penalty. And then I think the heads went after they went 2-1 down, and then it was just a bit of a easy game. But I'm under no I'm under no illusions that it's going to be an easy game. I think company, what a change round we've seen. I think from Sean Dyche to company, that's just two total contrasting styles. You've gone from the hoofing up to Crouchy, Sean Dyche, whack it straight up. The company he wants to play football now, and it's looking good. It's looking good. I think they
Yeah,
haven't got the players to do it, but still they're trying, and
well, they are. They are.
they try. They try. It's brilliant on the eye, but that comes from company probably laying off Pep Guardiola because obviously with Pep, I think Xabi Alonso plays a similar style to company. So that's what it is. You as a player, you're going to take all the bits from what you learn in training into your style. So you're kind of seeing kind of a few things that City probably do, but obviously they haven't got the players to match it. So try them things. But fair play to them having the goal. I feel like them and Sheffield United being in the same points is a bit unjust because I think Sheffield United are a lot worse team than Burnley. But the last two games, they've picked it up. They've got a win against Brentford in the last game, 2-1. And I think they drew 2-2 at West Ham, where Fofana scored a brilliant goal as well. Absolutely
Fofana
amazing.
looks good for them, man. And I'll tell you what, I would take him back next season 100%. I mean, he literally fits the project to a T. Young player, performing to a good level, Good
Yeah,
enough for this Chelsea team, 100%.
yeah. I think maybe another year.
You
Just
think?
one more. Yeah, I think we
Yeah.
need.
Where does
Oh,
he go?
keep him in the Prem. Keep him in the Prem. Somewhere like Burnley. Just keep him in the Prem. Give him another year. He's still only 21. So I feel like if there was a top striker to come in next year, I think he's going to get the majority of the minute. But just depending if we get Europe. If we get Europe, maybe there's a chance for him to stay. But if we don't get Europe, he's not going to get enough minutes. So I think give him another year somewhere else just to progress because it shows. He had a loan spell at not Hertha Berlin, Union Berlin. Didn't work out for him, and he's gone to Burnley and he's finding his feet now. So just get all these players, these potential players that we've got, get them into the right team, into the right setup where the manager's going to want the best for them, and just start progressing in the careers. And I think Fofana's probably in that same category now, just for now, or maybe season after he might come back and do a good job because he looks a player.
No, it'd be interesting to see how he does. I mean, what's your lineup, Kev, going into this game? I think Petrovic is obvious. Sanchez is out injured anyway. What about the back line? I think Chilwell's out, so you got Cucurella there.
Yeah,
Gusto is, I think, available for
50-50.
selection, but it might be a little bit
50-50.
shaky.
He came
And
came
then,
back
yeah,
on. So basically, players are getting sent international duty, not 100%. And do you think a Guardiola or an Arteta or a club or any top manager would send a player? Chilwell wasn't even fit for the Leicester game. He came on in the last 10 minutes. So why would you send him to go and play two friendlies when you know that he's not fully fit? And this is the mentality at the club right now. The mentality is in the mud, Alex. When you think of it like that, why would he just think about it? Do you think City would take any risk with their players if they wasn't fit? No,
well,
they wouldn't.
City have about 6 players injured
Yeah,
after.
yeah. But there was a couple that never went. There's a couple that went and came back because there wasn't at a level. Ben Chilwell was going to play 2 games and now he's injured. It's just absolutely ridiculous. But to be fair, I think I would have started Cucurella anyway if there's both fit. So I go Cucurella down the left. For me, it's keep Petrovic in goal. Cole will still out, so it'd be the centre back partnership. I'll go with Disasi on the right. It'd have to be Chalobah because he's the only
I
available
think
option.
Caliber might be out as well, mate.
Oh yeah, he is. Yeah,
Fucking hell. We don't have anyone available.
it's bad, bro. It's bad, bro. It's really
Yeah,
bad. It's
it's shocking, mate. No, it is shocking from an injury perspective. I mean, it's got to be the
oh.
worst in the league because it's only been
He's
one
by the
season.
back. Yeah, he's by the Chile back.
I don't know if he is, mate. I'm not. I'm
Thiago
not.
Silva. We've got 5. We've got 6 centre backs and we've got 1 fit, bro. One of them is Fofana. We haven't even seen him play once all season. Like this sucks, bro. Like literally, brother. Like Fofana's been here for 2 years and he's played 4 games, 5 games for us, bro, in 2 years, bro.
Yeah. He's
Think
barely played for
really
us.
bad, bro. It's bad, bro. So centre backs, I don't even know because no one's fit. Right back, if Gusto's fit, who knows? Obviously, James is still out. It'd have to be Enzo's back from suspension, so it'd be Enzo Casado in the pivot. But I'm hearing Enzo's touch and goal because he's literally getting back off international duty today. So he might not be featuring. Palmer in the 10. Mudryk definitely deserves to start. I think he's been coming from myself. I'm not saying I'm a Mudryk hater, but I'm one of his biggest critics. I think he's come over the last few games. He has performed. Let's give it to him. So I think he'd be on the left. On the right side, Madueke. Wow. The thing is, what we need to do, Madueke, is I think we know it's going to be up and down his performances, up and down.
Yeah.
If you have their performance, just play in the next game again. I don't want to see Sterling play another game this season after the Leicester game. If Madueke has a good performance, then the next game he has a bad one, just start him again the next game after that. Because we know he's not going to be fully consistent yet. He's still got a bit of time to find his feet. What's happening now is He started against Villa, had a really good game. Started against Palace, had a poor game, got dragged off, and we haven't seen much of him since. It's just I don't know what's going on, but he'd rather choose Sterling, who is just I can't even say anything about his performance against Leicester. But we all know that's probably one of the worst performances in the history of the football. Like, so to start Madueke in the right, Palmer in the middle, Mudryk down the left, and he'd have to be the main man Jackson up top, and that would probably be his strongest possible lineup. To be fair, what about yourself?
No, you're right. No, it'd be interesting. I mean, I don't think it will be a walk in the park, but I don't think it'll be too difficult. I think it'll be like a 2-1 win or a 3-1 win for Chelsea, if I'm honest. I can see goals from us.
Yeah.
Maybe leak one as well. I'm not. Is Fofana allowed to play?
No.
No. Well, then I think that we're very limited with what Burnley can do to us. So I don't think there's a massive threat from them.
Burnley, Fofana was probably their main man. They've got Berg and Cullen in the middle. I think Berg's very good on the ball. I liked him when he played for Sheffield United. I think he's comfortable on the ball. I think takes the play, breaks play out well. Cullen is the bit of the engine in the middle. It's a bit tenacious, gets around, puts tackles in. So Taylor down the left as well. The left back, he likes to get there, get up the flank. He's got a wicked left foot on him. And Bruno Larson as well, a Danish player. He's brilliant, good skill, proven international. So they have got players there. They have got players that can do us some kind of harm. But come on, if we can't smash Burnley home, it's like we said against the Leicester game. If you can't beat these bums, it's a massive problem. So I went with 3-1 as well. To be fair, I said it'd be 3-1, comfortable 3-1. I think with their style of football, what they're trying to do now, they're not going to sit. We all know Burnley as being this sitting counter team for too long. They've completely changed it. There's going to be too many gaps for us to exploit. So if we get our key men on the ball, I'm sure they'll have a full day in attacking areas. So 3-1 Chelsea. That'll be my predicted scoreline for tomorrow.
Well, listen, guys. Thank you for watching. If you have been watching 42 minutes, a little bit longer actually, but because we end up speaking about the ownership for so long, I thought we'd just continue on and then actually get a little preview in as well. If you agree with myself and Kev, 3-1 Chelsea, let us down in the comments. If you don't, let us know what you would think instead. And if you haven't already liked and subscribed to the channel, please do. It helps a lot. Every single one of you. We appreciate your support and we hope to see you very, very soon after a Chelsea win against Burnley. All the best, guys, and we will speak very, very soon.